Hello, my dear friends. You find yourself wandering through a bustling marketplace in ancient China, where vibrant colors and intoxicating scents swirl around you like a vivid dream. Stalls overflow with exotic goods, from shimmering silks to exotic spices, each one showcasing the opulence of a world that feels almost unreal. Yet, behind these charming facades lies a reality you probably once survived this, a tapestry of peculiar and often grim professions that thrived in the shadows of history. So before you get comfortable, take a moment to like the video and subscribe, but only if you genuinely enjoy what I do here. Imagine the scene, the sun warms your skin, and the distant chatter of merchants fills the air as you settle into this cozy exploration of the oddest jobs in ancient China, jobs that painted a vastly different picture of everyday life. Now, dim the lights, maybe turn on a fan for that soft background hum, and let's ease into tonight's journey together. In the world of ancient China, one could easily be lured by the glamour of positions held by emperors, generals, and scholars, but lurking beneath the surface of the seemingly pristine image existed an array of unusual jobs that played crucial roles in society. Each of these professions carried with it not only a unique set of skills, but also hidden truths that challenged the glamorous narrative often associated with the past. As you delve into this tapestry of bizarre occupations, you'll uncover the shocking realities that these individuals faced, all while navigating through the cultural beliefs that justified their existence. Let's begin with one of the most precarious roles in the imperial court, a royal food taster. Imagine this, a lavish banquet set for the emperor, the air thick with the aromas of roasted meats and exotic spices, every dish meticulously prepared to please the most powerful man in the land. And there, quietly, stands the royal food taster, a figure often overlooked, yet central to the emperor's very survival. This job was not just about discerning flavors. It was a matter of life and death. The taster, usually a trusted servant, would sample each dish before it reached the emperor's table, ensuring that no poison lurked within the sumptuous feasts. While one might envision this role as glamorous, laden with fine silk robes and sumptuous meals, the truth of the matter was far more sinister. Every bite taken by the taster was fraught with peril, as enemies often sought to eliminate the emperor through cunning and treachery. The very act of sampling food could lead to a swift and brutal demise. As a taster, you would live with the constant shadow of death looming over your shoulder, all for a fleeting moment of privilege. The very same kingly banquet that dazzled guests was also a potential pitfall for those tasked with keeping it safe. Yet, why was this reality acceptable? The answer lies in the beliefs of the era, where the notion of loyalty and sacrifice was deeply ingrained in the social fabric. The royal court thrived on an elaborate hierarchy that demanded loyalty at every level, often putting lives in jeopardy for the stability of the empire. In this context, the food taster's role was not only a job but a demonstration of loyalty, where risking one's life was a necessary act to uphold the emperor's divine right to rule. As we move on from the imperial court, let's step into the somber world of the graveyard keeper, a role that might evoke a sense of dread at first mention. Picture the serene gravesites adorned with offerings for departed souls, colorful flowers laid out as tokens of love and respect. The graveyard keeper was tasked with the daunting responsibility of maintaining these sacred spaces, ensuring that the dead were honored and that their resting places were undisturbed. While this might sound like a peaceful duty, the reality was often grim. In ancient China, the graveyard keeper faced a unique set of challenges. Not only did they tend to the physical upkeep of the graves, but they also navigated the complex beliefs surrounding the afterlife. This role required a delicate balance of appeasing restless spirits, adhering to rituals, and protecting the graveyard from grave robbers who sought to disturb the peace for personal gain. The serene exterior of a graveyard often belied the frantic and sometimes dangerous work of those who watched over the dead. But as with all ancient occupations, there was a deeper reason behind the existence of such a profession. The belief in an afterlife was profound in ancient Chinese culture, where ancestor worship played a crucial role in familial and societal structures. The graveyard keeper's job was rooted in the idea that a well-maintained grave not only honored the deceased, but also ensured protection and blessings for the living. Hence, the graveyard keeper, while often viewed through the lens of morbidity, was a vital custodian of cultural and spiritual beliefs. As you think about the keeper of the graves, let's transition to another fascinating role, a water watcher. You might picture a serene figure sitting by a river, gazing at the gentle flow of water, but in reality, the water watcher had a demanding job filled with responsibility. This role was meticulously appointed to monitor water levels, ensuring that rivers remained at optimum levels for irrigation, transportation, and trade. With agriculture being the backbone of ancient Chinese society, the water watcher's responsibility was paramount. However, the water watcher's reality was not as tranquil as it sounds. Imagine standing by a river, exposed to the elements, grappling with the unpredictable nature of water and weather. The lurking threat of floods or droughts could spell disaster for entire communities, and the water watcher was often blamed for any mismanagement. The pressure to maintain balance and harmony with the natural world weighed heavily on their shoulders, as their efforts directly impacted agricultural productivity and the livelihoods of countless families. This pressure arose from the deeply ingrained belief that nature was a reflection of moral and social order. The ancient Chinese worldview was built on the concept of harmony between humanity and the environment, and the water watcher's role was central to this philosophy. Their vigilance was seen as a proactive means of maintaining balance, and thus the job, while arduous and filled with risk, was viewed as a noble pursuit in the greater scheme of societal welfare. As you reflect on the water watcher, consider how these odd jobs interconnect and frame our understanding of ancient Chinese society. Each occupation reveals a layer of complexity that contrasts with the grand narratives we often hear, allowing us to appreciate the everyday lives that contributed to the rich tapestry of history. And as we delve deeper into this exploration, let's uncover more of these unusual professions and the hidden truths that lie beneath the surface. Let's turn our gaze now to a position that, while seemingly luxurious, carried its own set of perils. Royal food taster. Imagine yourself standing in the grand hall of an emperor's palace, where the air is thick with the mouth-watering aroma of spices and roasted meats. Elaborate tables are laden with delicacies, the kind that could make anyone's mouth water. But amid this sumptuous feast, there is a figure standing at the ready, often overlooked, the royal food taster. At a glance, this job might seem like a privilege, a ticket to the finest foods and the most extravagant banquets. However, the reality is much darker. The life of a food taster was a precarious one, a dangerous tightrope walk between culinary delight and deadly poison. Each morsel sampled was a gamble, a bite that could very well lead to a swift end. Histories are replete with tales of ambitious rivals seeking to eliminate emperors through cunning plots, and the food taster's role was to thwart these deadly schemes with their own life on the line. As you process this reality, consider the implications of such a profession. The average person might envision the royal banquets as a showcase of wealth and power, but they often came with an undercurrent of fear and treachery. The emperor, often considered semi-divine, required more than just local delicacies. He needed assurance that his meals were pure. As a result, the taster would consume dishes infused with flavors and spices, all while knowing that each bite could be his last. The logic behind this grim necessity can be traced back to a belief in loyalty and sacrifice that permeated ancient Chinese society. The duty of the food taster was not merely about protecting the emperor. It was a social contract steeped in honor. In a world where loyalty could mean the difference between life and death, this profession represented the ultimate sacrifice. While many longed for power and riches, the food taster's life was a reminder of the darker side of ambition, a necessary role that upheld the grand narrative of the ruling elite. But the life of a royal food taster wasn't the only peculiar role in this ancient land. Now, let's shift focus to the graveyard keeper, a role that was as essential as it was unusual. Picture the serene landscape of a graveyard, where tombstones rise from the earth like silent sentinels, adorned with flowers and offerings from loved ones. The graveyard keeper was the individual tasked with ensuring that these sacred spaces remained undisturbed and cared for, but the truth of their work was often more demanding than it appeared. While tending to graves may seem like a peaceful profession, the reality for graveyard keepers was anything but tranquil. Their responsibilities often extended beyond simple maintenance. They had to protect the graves from grave robbers and manage the rituals associated with ancestor worship. The act of honoring these dead was deeply ingrained in Chinese culture, with families performing rituals to appease their ancestors, and the graveyard keeper stood as the guardian of this delicate interplay between the living and the dead. The role, while steeped in reverence, came with its own set of challenges. Imagine the keeper wrestling with the elements, dealing with weather's wrath while ensuring that the graves remained intact and respected. There was a constant threat of disturbance, not just from nature, but also from those who sought to disrespect the resting places of the deceased for personal gain. In this context, the graveyard keeper became an unsung hero, safeguarding the peace of the afterlife while often facing societal misunderstanding. To understand why this profession existed, one must look to the cultural beliefs that shaped ancient Chinese society. The veneration of ancestors was not merely a tradition, it was a vital component of social order. The graveyard keeper's role was an embodiment of this belief, where maintaining the sanctity of graves ensured blessings for the living. This connection between the dead and the living was critical, and the keeper was revered as a mediator, underscoring the importance of honoring those who had come before. Transitioning from the sacred grounds of the graveyard, let's explore the role of the water watcher, another essential yet often overlooked position in ancient China. Visualize this: a figure stationed by a flowing river, eyes fixed on the water's surface as it dances in the sunlight. The water watcher was responsible for monitoring water levels, a task that was crucial for agriculture and the sustenance of communities. The very lifeblood of civilization flowed through these hands, yet the job was fraught with unpredictable challenges. Being a water watcher was no leisurely pursuit. It required vigilance and a deep understanding of the natural world. Floods could wreak havoc on farmland, while droughts could lead to famine. The water watcher, tasked with balancing the delicate relationship between humans and the environment, had to interpret the signs of nature with immense accuracy. This role was steeped in responsibility, as miscalculations could have dire consequences for entire villages. But why was this position so necessary? The ancient Chinese held a deeply embedded belief that humanity must maintain harmony with nature. The cycle of floods and droughts was seen as a reflection of moral and social order. Thus, the water watcher was not just a monitor but a crucial link in this chain of balance. Their work was a representation of the interconnectedness of life, and their diligence ensured that the cycles of nature aligned with societal needs. As we weave through these odd yet essential roles, you can see how each profession brings to light the complexities of life in ancient China. From the fear-laden duty of the royal food taster, to the reverent labor of the graveyard keeper, and lastly, to the vigilant water watcher, these professions reveal a society rich with cultural beliefs and intricacies. Each one challenges the glamorous narratives often associated with history, pulling back layers to expose the gritty realities woven into the daily lives of those who lived long ago. Let's continue our journey to unveil more secrets and stories hidden in the curious tapestry of ancient occupations. As we continue our journey, let's delve into a craft that dances between the realms of artistry and the bizarre dragon maker. Picture a bustling festival in ancient China, vibrant lanterns illuminating the night, with the rhythmic sound of drums and the laughter of children echoing throughout the streets. At the heart of this celebration, you would find magnificent dragon figures, intricately crafted and captivatingly colorful, weaving their way through the throngs of spectators. But behind this dazzling spectacle lies the life of a dragon maker, a role that, while magical on the surface, carried its own set of peculiar challenges and hidden truths. At first glance, being a dragon maker might seem like an exciting profession, steeped in tradition and artistry. After all, creating these legendary creatures for festivals was not only a source of pride but also a means of bringing joy and wonder to countless people. However, the reality was much more complex. The life of a dragon maker was filled with laborious hours spent shaping materials, whether it be bamboo, silk or paper, and transforming them into grand serpentine figures. The process was not only time-consuming but also physically demanding, requiring skill and precision. Moreover, there was a darker aspect to this job that often goes unacknowledged. The dragon figures, while awe-inspiring, were imbued with cultural significance that demanded a deep understanding of symbolism and tradition. Every curve, color, and pattern had meaning, and the dragon maker was responsible for ensuring that their creations adhered to these beliefs. If they failed, the consequences could be dire. Imagine the pressure of crafting a dragon that needed to embody strength and good fortune, all while knowing that a misstep could lead to public dissatisfaction or shame. Why was such pressure deemed acceptable? The answer lies in the cultural fabric of ancient China, where festivals were not merely for entertainment but served as vital expressions of community and shared beliefs. Dragons were revered as symbols of power, strength, and auspiciousness, and the dragon maker's role was crucial in maintaining this cultural narrative. The job represented not only individual skill but also communal values, where the responsibility to create something worthy of the gods and ancestors was taken very seriously. Transitioning from the world of vibrant festivals, let's now turn our attention to another unusual profession, the official tooth puller. Visualize a bustling village, where villagers gather around a modest stall, nervously awaiting their turn for a procedure that many dread. Here stands the official tooth puller, a figure whose profession was steeped in both necessity and fear. In an age devoid of modern dentistry, tooth extraction was often the only solution for those suffering from dental ailments. This position, while essential, was far from glamorous. The job of the tooth puller was grueling and, at times, gruesome. Imagine wielding rudimentary tools to extract painful teeth, often without anesthesia or any form of sanitary measures. The process was not just physically taxing but emotionally draining for both the puller and the patient. People would come to the official tooth puller in desperation, often enduring horrific pain and anxiety, hoping for relief. In this context, the tooth puller was seen as a necessary evil, a figure who bore the weight of countless individuals' suffering. Yet, despite the discomfort associated with this profession, it was an accepted part of life, rooted in the understanding that dental health was closely tied to overall well-being. The ancient Chinese believed in the balance of the body's elements, and dental issues were seen as a sign of internal imbalance. Thus, the tooth puller was not merely a practitioner of a grim trade, they were an integral part of the community's health system, a role that provided relief and restored balance, albeit through often painful means. This juxtaposition of necessity and horror brings us to a deeper understanding of the societal beliefs that shaped such roles. The acceptance of the tooth puller was tied to a broader understanding of health and wellness, where traditional methods were seen as the only solutions available. The role was a reminder that, in ancient society, pain and suffering were often intertwined with the hope for healing, and those who took on such burdens were viewed with a mix of fear, respect, and necessity. As we leave the world of tooth extraction behind, let's explore the vibrant and colourful realm of the colourful dyer. Imagine entering a workshop filled with steaming cauldrons where vivid hues of indigo, crimson and gold spill across the fabric, creating a stunning spectacle. The colourful dyer was tasked with transforming plain textiles into vibrant masterpieces, but the reality of this job was often clouded by a darker truth. While the craft of dyeing fabrics might seem enchanting, the process was mired in challenges and risks. The dyer worked with a variety of substances, some natural, some chemical, that posed health risks. Many dyes were derived from toxic plants or minerals, and the dyer's hands often bore the stains of their labour, a testament to the sacrifices made for beauty. The bright colours that adorned the garments of the elite were often achieved at a cost that was not immediately visible. The shocking reality of the dyer's trade lies in the societal norms that prioritized aesthetics over health. In a world where the outward appearance was paramount, the demands for vibrant colours often led to unsafe practices. The dyer, while celebrated for their artistry, was also exposed to the harsh realities of the materials they used, sometimes facing health consequences that would go unacknowledged in the pursuit of beauty and status. Understanding the logic behind this profession requires a glimpse into the cultural values of ancient China. The appreciation for colour and artistry was woven into the very fabric of society, where clothing was not merely functional but an expression of social status and identity. The dyer's role reflected this belief, embodying the idea that beauty was worth the risks involved. In this dance between colour and toxicity, the colourful dyer's craft illustrates the lengths to which society would go to achieve an ideal of beauty that, while captivating, often masked the darker truths beneath. As we pause to reflect on these unique professions, the dragon maker, the official tooth puller, and the colourful dyer each reveals layers of complexity that challenge the grand narratives of history. These roles are not merely oddities, they are reflections of cultural beliefs, societal needs, and the human capacity to navigate a world filled with contradictions. Let's continue to uncover more of these hidden gems and explore the odd jobs that have shaped our understanding of ancient China. Now, let's turn our attention to a profession that many might find whimsical yet carries profound undertones: the perfume connoisseur. Imagine stepping into a fragrant workshop filled with the intoxicating scents of jasmine, sandalwood, and spices. The air dances with aromas that seem to embrace you, transporting you to distant lands filled with luxury. The perfume connoisseur played a vital role in ancient Chinese society, crafting exquisite scents for the elite, but the reality of their trade often belied the enchantment of their craft. At first glance, the life of a perfume connoisseur appears glamorous. They would masterfully blend essential oils, herbs, and other natural ingredients to create captivating fragrances, each telling a story of its own. These scents were not merely for personal enjoyment, they were deeply entwined with social status, spirituality, and cultural rituals. Perfumes were used in court ceremonies, religious observances, and even to attract the attention of a potential suitor. In this light, the connoisseur's work seems almost magical, a gateway to beauty and sophistication. However, the shocking reality of this profession reveals a much darker side. Many ingredients used in ancient perfumes were derived from sources that were not only difficult to procure, but also potentially hazardous. For instance, some scents were created from animal products, like musk, which required the hunting and killing of rare creatures. The gathering of these materials often involved unethical practices that would make modern sensibilities recoil. Additionally, the blending process itself could be hazardous, The volatile nature of the compounds meant that connoisseurs sometimes faced health risks due to inhalation or skin exposure to toxic substances. As you ponder this juxtaposition of beauty and danger, consider the societal beliefs that made such practices acceptable. In ancient China, scents were believed to have spiritual significance. They were thought to ward off evil spirits and attract good fortune. The perfume connoisseur's craft was thus not just about creating pleasant aromas, but about tapping into the metaphysical aspects of life. The pursuit of fragrance was intertwined with notions of harmony, balance, and the quest for a favorable existence. The risks taken by these artisans were viewed as necessary sacrifices in the name of beauty, status, and spiritual protection. Now, let's navigate to a more unexpected profession: the ritual clown. Envision a lively scene during a festival where performers dance and juggle, their painted faces eliciting laughter from children and adults alike. In ancient China, clowns held a unique position, often tasked with providing entertainment during religious ceremonies and community gatherings. But while their role may seem light-hearted, the reality of being a ritual clown was steeped in cultural significance and pressures that would surprise the modern observer. At first glance, the ritual clown appears to be a figure of joy and merriment, bringing laughter to the masses. Their antics were not merely for entertainment, they served to lighten the mood during solemn ceremonies and festivities. The clown's ability to weave humor into the fabric of important rituals created a sense of connection among the community. However, the weight of expectation rested heavily on their shoulders. Their performances needed to strike a delicate balance between humor and reverence, as any misstep could lead to public disapproval or even accusations of disrespect. The shocking truth of this profession lies in the ritual clown's precarious position within the social hierarchy. While they were celebrated for their ability to entertain and uplift, they were also often marginalized and dismissed, regarded as outsiders despite their integral role in community life. This duality created a unique tension. The clown must navigate the fine line between being loved for their humor and being ostracized for their unconventional position in society. Understanding this paradox involves diving into the cultural beliefs that shaped the role of the ritual clown. In ancient China, humor was often viewed as a means to convey deeper truths about the human experience. Clowns were not just entertainers, they were social commentators, using their performances to critique societal norms and provoke thought. Their work was grounded in the belief that laughter could foster unity and understanding, enabling communities to confront difficult subjects through the lens of humor. In this sense, these ritual clowns' role was both vital and vulnerable, embodying the complexities of human emotions and societal expectations. Shifting away from the world of comedy, let's explore another unusual occupation: the ghostwriter. Visualize a quiet room where a scribe diligently writes letters and documents by candlelight, their quill scratching softly against the parchment. This individual was tasked with translating thoughts into words for those who could not write. In an era where literacy was not universal, the ghostwriter played a crucial role in bridging social divides, but their work was laced with complexities that reveal much about societal hierarchies and personal relationships. While the role of a ghostwriter might seem straightforward, the reality was far more intricate. Imagine being entrusted with not only the words, but also the emotions of another person. The ghostwriter had to navigate the nuances of tone, style, and intent, often embodying the voices of the illiterate who wished to communicate their thoughts and feelings in a written format. This responsibility came with its challenges. Capturing the essence of a person's voice while remaining anonymous required immense skill and sensitivity. Yet, the shocking truth about this profession lies within the power dynamics at play. Ghostwriters often found themselves in a precarious position, laboring in silence while their clients reaped the accolades for the work produced. The very act of writing for someone else meant that the ghostwriter's contributions would remain forever hidden in the shadows, unacknowledged and uncredited. This created a complex relationship between the writer and their client, where the act of creation became a silent negotiation of power and ownership. To understand why such a role was not only accepted but necessary, one must consider the cultural landscape of ancient China. The notions of hierarchy and class were deeply entrenched, and literacy was often a privilege reserved for the elite. The ghostwriter allowed those who were literate to communicate their thoughts and maintain social connections, serving as a vital link in a society that valued written expression. Their work was a testament to the complexities of communication and the lengths to which individuals would go to navigate the boundaries imposed by social structures. As we explore these extraordinary professions, the perfume connoisseur, the ritual clown, and the ghostwriter, we uncover layers of complexity that challenge our assumptions about history. Each role reveals a unique intersection of creativity, societal values, and the human experience, painting a vivid picture of life in ancient China. Let's continue to peel back the layers of time and discover more odd jobs that illuminate the richness of this fascinating era. Continuing our exploration of unusual professions, let's immerse ourselves in the intricate world of the silk inspector. Imagine a bustling marketplace filled with vibrant fabrics, colors shimmering in the sunlight, each bolt of silk telling a story of craftsmanship and luxury. As you walk through the stalls, the silk inspector stands, poised and attentive, ensuring that each piece of silk meets the demanding standards of quality and artistry. This position was vital in an era when silk was not just a fabric but a symbol of wealth, status and cultural identity. However, beneath the elegance lies a reality that is less glamorous than one might expect. At first glance, the life of a silk inspector may seem enviable. Surrounded by the finest textiles, their expertise was sought after to ensure that only the best silk made its way to the elite. The inspector would assess the texture, sheen, and craftsmanship, wielding a keen eye for detail that defined their role. This profession was firmly rooted in the cultural significance of silk, which was regarded not just as a commodity, but as an art form infused with meaning and tradition. Yet, the shocking reality of this profession unfolds when you consider the immense pressure placed upon the silk inspector. The standards for silk were extraordinarily high, with strict guidelines that dictated quality to maintain the fabric's reputation. Inspectors faced immense scrutiny, knowing that their assessments could significantly affect the livelihoods of weavers and merchants alike. A single misjudgment could lead to financial ruin for artisans whose work was often labor-intensive and painstakingly crafted. Understanding the historical context of this role sheds light on why such high stakes were deemed acceptable. Silk was not just a luxury, it was integral to the economy and societal structure of ancient China. The Silk Road, a vital trade route, relied heavily on the quality of silk produced, and inspectors were seen as guardians of this precious resource. Their work was underpinned by a belief in the importance of maintaining standards that reflected not only individual craftsmanship, but also the cultural and political aspirations of the empire. Now, let's transition to another fascinating and often overlooked profession: stone carver. Picture a bustling quarry where artisans toil under the sun, chiseling away at slabs of stone to create intricate sculptures and monuments. The life of a stone carver was indeed a labor of love, but it was also fraught with challenges that showcased a stark contrast to the beauty of their final products. At first glance, stone carving may evoke images of finely crafted statues and ornate buildings, with artisans celebrated for their skill. However, the reality of this profession was one of backbreaking labor and relentless toil. The process of shaping stone was arduous, requiring immense physical strength and precision. Carvers worked long hours, often in harsh conditions, exposed to dust and debris that could take a toll on their health. The glamour associated with the finished product often obscured the grueling effort that went into its creation. Moreover, the shocking truth about the life of a stone carver encompasses the societal structures that dictated their position. While their work contributed to the grandeur of temples and monuments, stone carvers often labored in anonymity, their contributions overlooked. Much like the ghostwriters, they were bound to a system where individual recognition was elusive. The finished works, celebrated in society, became symbols of power and wealth, while the artisans remained in the background, their names rarely recorded in history. To grasp why such a profession was accepted and respected, one must reflect on the cultural beliefs that shaped ancient Chinese society. Stone was seen as a material imbued with permanence and strength, representing the stability of the empire. Carving stone was not merely about artistry, it was about constructing a lasting legacy. The stone carver's work was a means of connecting the present with the past, ensuring that the values and achievements of the society would endure through time. They were, in essence, the custodians of history, even as their individual stories faded into obscurity. Let's now move on to another unique role: a wandering monk. Picture a solitary figure clad in simple robes, walking along dusty roads, seeking wisdom and enlightenment. The wandering monk traveled from village to village, sharing teachings and offering guidance. While this role might seem serene and noble, the path of the wandering monk was fraught with hardships that often go unnoticed. At first glance, the life of a wandering monk appears to embody tranquility and spiritual enlightenment. These individuals had chosen to dedicate their lives to the pursuit of knowledge and compassion, often regarded as revered figures in their communities. They served as educators, healers and spiritual guides, traveling to spread wisdom and foster understanding. In this light, their role seems to radiate with the glow of altruism and purpose. However, beneath this serene exterior lies the stark reality of their existence. Wandering monks faced a life of uncertainty. Their journeys were often met with skepticism or hostility in communities that were wary of outsiders. They had to rely on the generosity of others for sustenance, making them vulnerable to the whims of those they encountered. The search for enlightenment was often accompanied by physical hardship, as they traversed harsh landscapes and faced the elements with little more than their faith to guide them. The logic behind this challenging lifestyle can be traced to the deeply ingrained beliefs in Buddhism and Taoism that permeated ancient Chinese culture. The wandering monk was seen as a vessel of spiritual truth, embodying the ideals of humility, simplicity, and detachment from material possessions. This profession was a manifestation of the belief that true enlightenment could only be achieved through hardship and selflessness, allowing individuals to transcend worldly attachments in pursuit of a higher understanding. As we reflect on the roles of the silk inspector, stone carver, and wandering monk, we uncover a rich tapestry of experiences that reveal the complexities of life in ancient China. Each profession offers a glimpse into the societal values, cultural beliefs, and human struggles that shaped the lives of these individuals. Let's continue our journey to uncover even more hidden professions, revealing the diverse and often surprising realities of those who lived in this vibrant era. As we delve deeper into the tapestry of ancient Chinese professions, let's explore the intriguing world of the oracle reader. Imagine a dimly lit chamber, incense wafting through the air, where an oracle reader sits cross-legged, surrounded by ancient texts and mystical artifacts. In this role, the oracle reader serves as a bridge between the divine and the earthly, offering insights and guidance to those seeking answers. However, while these allure of divination may seem captivating, the life of an oracle reader is riddled with complexities and pressures that are often overlooked. At first glance, the oracle reader appears to occupy a prestigious position, revered for their ability to connect with the spiritual realm. Individuals would flock to them, hoping to receive advice on matters ranging from personal dilemmas to significant political decisions. The oracle reader's interpretations of signs bit through the casting of bones or the examination of omens held immense weight in the decision-making processes of both individuals and leaders. This role seemed imbued with power and mystique, a coveted place within society. Yet, the shocking reality of being an oracle reader is layered with vulnerabilities and societal expectations. The pressure to deliver accurate readings weighed heavily on these individuals. Imagine the anxiety of knowing that your words could alter the course of someone's life, or even impact the fate of a dynasty. Mistakes were not just personal failures, they could lead to public disgrace or even accusations of treachery. The burden of expectation turned the oracle reader's role into a tightrope walk between reverence and fear. Understanding the acceptance of such a high-stakes position requires examining the cultural context surrounding divination practices in ancient China. The belief in the interconnectedness of the divine and mortal worlds meant that oracle readers were seen as essential mediators. Their work was not merely about interpreting signs, it represented a vital aspect of governance and social order. The reliance on their insights reflected a broader belief that the cosmos influenced daily life, underscoring the need for harmony between the human and divine realms. Thus, the oracle reader's challenges were viewed through the lens of societal necessity and accepted risk in the quest for wisdom. Transitioning from the mystical realm of divination, let's now uncover the fascinating life of the potter. Picture a bustling workshop where a potter deftly shapes clay on a spinning wheel, their hands working in fluid motion. The craft of pottery is an art form that produces beautiful and functional pieces, yet the reality of this profession often reveals a much harder truth than the elegantly finished products might suggest. At first glance, the potter's life may seem idyllic, a creative endeavor that allows for self-expression and craftsmanship. The final products, ranging from intricate vases to sturdy bowls, are often celebrated for their beauty and utility. In ancient China, pottery was not merely a craft, it was a means of cultural expression, reflecting local traditions and customs. The potter's skill was revered, and their creations contributed to the daily lives of the community. However, the shocking truth about the life of a potter is rooted in the labor-intensive nature of their work. Shaping clay requires not only artistic talent, but also immense physical labor and stamina. The potter would spend hours kneading and preparing the clay, a process that demanded both strength and precision. Additionally, the kiln essential for firing pottery was a source of danger. The intense heat required to transform clay into durable ceramics posed risks, including burns and exposure to harmful fumes. The potter's life was often a balancing act between creativity and the physical toll of their craft. Understanding why this profession was accepted requires looking at the cultural significance of pottery within ancient Chinese society. Pottery was not simply a means of creating functional objects. It was an expression of identity and community. Each piece carried the weight of tradition, with distinct styles that spoke to regional characteristics and customs. The potter's role was vital in preserving these cultural narratives, making the hard labor worthwhile for the greater good of society. As we reflect on the lives of the oracle, reader and the potter, we uncover a rich interplay of spirituality, artistry, and societal structure. Each occupation reveals the hidden struggles and expectations that individuals faced, illuminating the complexities of ancient Chinese life. Now, let's continue to explore more unusual professions and the often surprising realities that shaped the experiences of those who lived in this vibrant era. Now, let's step into the world of the official tooth puller, a profession that embodies the intersection of necessity and discomfort. Picture a small, bustling marketplace where villagers gather, their faces etched with worry and anticipation. The official tooth puller sits at a modest stall, tools of the trade laid out before them, their very presence a mixture of dread and relief for those suffering from dental pain. This role, while essential for maintaining health, presents a shocking reality that contrasts sharply with the societal perceptions of dental care in ancient China. At first glance, one might imagine the official tooth puller as a figure of healing, someone who brings relief from the torment of toothaches. In an era devoid of modern dentistry, tooth extraction was often the only solution for those afflicted with severe dental issues. The official tooth puller, often considered a necessary health provider, played a vital role in alleviating suffering, and their services were undoubtedly in demand. In this light, their work seems noble, a vocation devoted to the well-being of their community. However, the shocking truth about the role of the official tooth puller unveils a much harsher reality. Imagine the anxiety of a patient sitting in the makeshift chair, knowing that they would undergo a procedure without the comforts of anesthesia or modern hygiene. The tools used for extraction were rudimentary at best, and the act of pulling a tooth could be an excruciating experience. The official tooth puller was not just an agent of relief. They were also a figure, surrounded by fear, often blamed for the pain that accompanied their procedures. Moreover, the societal attitudes toward dental health during this time painted a complicated picture. Dental issues were often viewed through the lens of internal imbalance, a reflection of poor health or bad luck. As such, the practice of tooth extraction was intertwined with beliefs about the body's elements and overall well-being. The official tooth puller's position, while essential, was also precarious. They had to navigate the delicate balance between providing care and managing the fears and misconceptions of those they served. To comprehend why this profession was accepted and necessary, one must consider the cultural beliefs surrounding health and wellness in ancient China. The link between oral health and broader health issues was recognized, albeit in a primitive understanding. The official tooth puller was seen as a critical figure in the community's health landscape, a necessary component in the quest for balance and wellness. Their work, while fraught with challenges, was ultimately aimed at restoring harmony to those suffering from dental ailments. Now, let's explore another captivating profession, the colorful dyer. Imagine a vibrant workshop filled with colors so vivid they seem to leap from the fabrics hanging to dry. The colorful dyer is surrounded by cauldrons of dye, each bubbling with potential, transforming plain textiles into brilliant works of art. Yet, while the craft of dyeing may appear enchanting, the reality of this profession is often hidden beneath the surface, revealing a darker side to the art of color. At first glance, the life of the colorful dyer seems filled with creativity and beauty. The transformation of mundane fabrics into spectacular textiles is a process celebrated in ancient Chinese culture, where color held deep meaning and significance. Brightly dyed garments were not merely fashionable, they were status symbols, representing wealth and societal standing. The dyer, therefore, played a pivotal role in the visual landscape of the time, crafting pieces that would be worn with pride during ceremonies and daily life. However, the shocking truth behind the colorful dyer's craft lies in the substances used in the dyeing process. Many dyes were derived from plants, minerals, and even toxic materials, posing health risks to the dyers. Imagine working daily with chemicals that could irritate the skin or damage respiratory health, all in the pursuit of creating vibrant colors. Furthermore, the work environment was often chaotic, with spills and splashes creating a messy atmosphere that belied the beauty of the final product. The societal acceptance of the colorful dyer's profession is rooted in the cultural significance of color in ancient China. Bright colors were seen as indicators of vitality and were often associated with auspiciousness. The demand for colorful textiles ensured that the dyer's work was valued, despite the dangers associated with it. In a society that placed high importance on appearances and symbolism, The risks taken by the dyer were often overlooked in favor of the beauty they created. As we delve into the lives of the official tooth puller and the colorful dyer, we uncover the complex reality that exists beneath the surface of these intriguing professions. Each role reflects the intricate interplay of health, artistry, and societal beliefs in ancient China, offering a glimpse into the hidden truths of daily life. Let's continue to uncover more odd professions that reveal the fascinating and often surprising realities of this vibrant era. Now, let's venture into the captivating yet challenging profession of the graveyard keeper. Picture this, a serene graveyard nestled among lush greenery with carefully tended tombstones and offerings of flowers adorning each grave. The graveyard keeper wanders among the headstones, ensuring that the resting places of the deceased are honored and maintained. While this role is often viewed through a lens of reverence, the reality of being a graveyard keeper reveals a complex interplay of duty, respect, and societal expectations. At first glance, the life of a graveyard keeper may seem tranquil and filled with purpose. Their responsibilities include maintaining the grounds, tending to the flowers, and ensuring that the memories of those who have passed are preserved. In ancient China, where ancestor worship played a crucial role in cultural practices, the graveyard keeper was not just a caretaker but a guardian of familial legacies. The work they performed was honored by the community, as it was seen as a vital link between the living and the deceased. However, the shocking reality of being a graveyard keeper is far from idyllic. Maintaining a graveyard is labor-intensive and often emotionally taxing. Imagine spending long hours under the sun, pulling weeds, repairing tombstones, and performing rituals to appease the spirits of the departed. The keeper often faced the challenge of ensuring that graves remained undisturbed, protecting them from grave robbers who sought treasures buried alongside the deceased. In this sense, the graveyard keeper's role was not only about care, but also about vigilance, often requiring a level of physical and mental fortitude. The societal perception of the graveyard keeper was a double-edged sword. While they were respected for their roles, they were also occasionally viewed with suspicion, as their work involved dealing with death, an uncomfortable subject for many. This dichotomy created a unique tension within the profession, as the graveyard keeper strived to balance their reverent duties with the fear and misunderstanding that death often evokes. Understanding why this role was both accepted and necessary involves delving into the cultural beliefs surrounding death and the afterlife in ancient China. Ancestor worship was a fundamental aspect of the spiritual landscape, and maintaining the graves of the deceased was critical to ensuring their peace in the afterlife. The graveyard keeper was seen as a protector of these familial connections, tasked with preserving the sanctity of the dead while reinforcing the community's respect for their ancestors. Now, let's shift our focus to the enchanting world of the dragon maker. Picture a vibrant festival, where the streets are filled with music, laughter, and the dazzling sight of dragon figures parading through the crowd. The dragon maker, a skilled artisan, is behind the creation of these majestic creatures, crafting them from colorful fabrics and materials. While the role may seem magical, the realities of being a dragon maker reveal a fascinating blend of artistry and societal expectation. At first glance, the life of a dragon maker appears to be steeped in creativity and celebration. The vibrant dragons, crafted for festivals and ceremonies, are symbols of power, strength, and good fortune, captivating the hearts and imaginations of all who behold them. The dragon maker plays a vital role in bringing these mythical creatures to life, their work celebrated as integral to the cultural fabric of the community. However, the shocking truth about the life of a dragon maker is laden with pressure and responsibility. The creation of a dragon is not merely an artistic endeavor, it is a task shrouded in cultural significance. Each dragon must be meticulously crafted to embody the values and beliefs of the community, requiring an understanding of symbolism and tradition. A misstep in design or construction could result in public disappointment or even distrust in the dragon maker's abilities. Imagine the weight of expectation resting on the shoulders of the artisan, who must ensure that their creation meets the high standards set by tradition and community expectations. The societal acceptance of the dragon maker's role is rooted in the broader beliefs surrounding dragons in ancient Chinese culture. Dragons were revered as auspicious symbols, often associated with emperors and the divine. The work of the dragon maker was seen as a sacred duty, one that contributed to the cultural identity and cohesion of the community. This belief system underscored the importance of their craft, making the dragon maker's labor not just a profession, but a revered vocation. As we reflect on the lives of the graveyard keeper and the dragon maker, we uncover the complexities of their roles, which reveal the intricate interplay of duty, expectation, and cultural significance in ancient China. Each profession sheds light on the hidden truths and challenges faced by those who navigated these unique paths. Let's continue our journey to uncover even more unusual professions and the often surprising realities that shaped the experiences of individuals in this vibrant era. As we continue our exploration of peculiar professions, let's delve into the fascinating life of the ritual clown. Picture a lively scene during a grand festival, where vibrant costumes twirl and joyous laughter fills the air. At the heart of the festivities, the ritual clown captures the attention of the crowd, performing antics and jokes that elicit smiles and chuckles from young and old alike. While their role may seem purely entertaining, the reality of being a ritual clown in ancient China is steeped in cultural significance and expectations that reveal a much more complex reality. At first glance, the life of a ritual clown appears to be characterized by joy and revelry. Clowns were celebrated for their ability to lighten the mood during important ceremonies and festivals, often using humor to connect with the audience. Their performances served as a vital way to foster unity and laughter within the community, allowing people to momentarily forget their worries while celebrating shared traditions. In this light, the ritual clown might seem like an enviable position filled with admiration and applause. However, the shocking truth behind the life of a ritual clown reveals a world fraught with challenges and societal pressures. While their humor was cherished, clowns were also subject to scrutiny and criticism. There was an implicit expectation that they maintain a delicate balance between entertainment and respect for the traditions being celebrated. A misstep in performance, such as crossing the line into disrespect or offending cultural norms, could lead to public backlash or ostracization. The clown lived under the constant pressure of needing to please audiences, while effectively navigating the complexities of societal expectations. The societal perception of clowns was multifaceted. Although they often held a significant role in festivities, they were also considered outsiders figures who walked a fine line between acceptance and marginalization. The ritual clown's humor, while celebrated, sometimes masked deeper truths about human experiences, allowing them to act as social commentators who, through their performances, could critique societal norms without direct confrontation. To understand why this profession was both accepted and necessary, one must examine the cultural values surrounding humor and entertainment in ancient China. Laughter was seen as a means of fostering community and overcoming hardships, and the ritual clown played a crucial role in facilitating this process. Their ability to address serious subjects through humor allowed them to engage with societal issues in a way that was both approachable and impactful. Thus, the ritual clown's work was not merely about entertainment, it was about preserving cultural continuity and encouraging communal reflection. Now, let's transition to the world of the ghostwriter. Picture a quiet scribe nestled in a dimly lit room, quill in hand, crafting letters and documents for individuals who cannot write for themselves. The ghostwriter operates in the shadows. Their skill in weaving words sometimes goes unnoticed. While this role may seem straightforward, it is layered with complexities that reveal the social dynamics and cultural beliefs of ancient China. At first glance, the life of a ghostwriter appears to be one of respect and creativity. These skilled scribes were tasked with articulating the thoughts and feelings of their clients, often crafting letters that conveyed personal sentiments or important messages. The ability to express oneself through writing was highly valued, and the ghostwriter played a critical role in helping those who were illiterate maintain connections and communicate effectively. However, the shocking reality of being a ghostwriter lies in the nature of anonymity and the power dynamics at play. Imagine the frustration of pouring your heart into a letter, only for the recipient to acknowledge another as the author. Ghostwriters were often relegated to the background, their contributions overshadowed by the identities of those they served. This lack of recognition could create a sense of invisibility, raising questions about the value of their work and the worth of their creative input. The societal acceptance of the ghostwriter's role can be traced to the cultural context surrounding literacy in ancient China. The ability to read and write was often restricted to the elite, creating a divide between the literate and illiterate classes. In this landscape, ghostwriters became vital conduits for communication, bridging the gap between those who could articulate their thoughts and those who could not. Their work was a testament to the importance of expression and connection, even in a society that often marginalized their contributions. As we reflect on the roles of the ritual clown and the ghostwriter, we uncover layers of complexity that expose the intricate interplay of creativity, societal dynamics, and cultural beliefs in ancient China. Each profession sheds light on the hidden struggles and expectations faced by those navigating these unique paths. Let's continue our journey to explore even more unusual professions and the often surprising realities that shaped the experiences of individuals in this vibrant era. As we continue our exploration of unique professions, let's delve into the fascinating life of the official color matcher. Picture a vibrant marketplace filled with artisans and merchants, the air filled with the sweet scent of fresh dyes and the vibrant colors of textiles hanging on display. The official color matcher is tasked with ensuring that all fabrics used in garments, banners, and ceremonial attire meet the precise standards set by the imperial court. While this role may seem straightforward, the complexities and pressures surrounding it reveal a shocking reality that contrasts with the beauty of the colors they curate. At first glance, the role of the official color matcher appears to be an exciting and respected position, charged with the responsibility of maintaining color, harmony, and consistency. These individuals held a crucial role in the textile industry, ensuring that the fabrics produced met the aesthetic demands of both merchants and the elite. Their keen eye for color and understanding of dyeing techniques were highly valued, as the right hues were essential for conveying wealth, status, and cultural significance. However, the harsh reality faced by the official color matcher is fraught with challenges and expectations. Imagine the pressure of having to meet the exacting standards of both artisans and the imperial court, where a single miscalculation could lead to public humiliation or financial loss. The color matcher had to possess not only an artistic sensibility but also a deep understanding of the chemistry behind dyeing processes, as colors could shift dramatically based on the materials used and the techniques applied. This role was labor-intensive and often stressful, requiring countless hours spent testing and perfecting shades. Moreover, the societal implications of color were significant, as certain hues were associated with specific meanings and statuses. In ancient China, colors were not just aesthetic choices, they bore symbolism tied to Confucian values, auspiciousness, and ancestral reverence. As such, the color matcher's work went beyond mere aesthetics. It was a reflection of cultural beliefs that dictated how society viewed status and identity. The slightest deviation from established norms could lead to accusations of disrespect or failure to honor traditions. Understanding why this profession was both accepted and essential requires examining the values that underpinned ancient Chinese society. The relentless pursuit of beauty and harmony was central to cultural identity, and the official color matcher played a vital role in maintaining these ideals. Their work ensured that colors were not only pleasing to the eye but also aligned with the deeper meanings embedded in cultural practices. Pressure faced by color matchers was an accepted aspect of their duty, reflecting their importance in the grand narrative of tradition and artistry. Now, let's shift our focus to another fascinating role: water watcher. Picture a dedicated figure standing on the banks of a winding river, eyes keenly observing the flow of water and its levels. The water watcher held a critical responsibility in ancient Chinese society, tasked with monitoring and managing the water resources essential for agriculture and daily life. While this role may seem simple, the realities of being a water watcher are filled with challenges and societal expectations that reveal much about the interconnectedness of nature and humanity. At first glance, the life of a water watcher appears to be one of tranquility, surrounded by the beauty of rivers and streams. These individuals were entrusted with the important task of ensuring that water levels remained stable, crucial for irrigation and preventing floods or droughts that could devastate crops. The water watcher's role was vital for maintaining agricultural productivity and supporting the community's livelihood. In this sense, their position carries an air of respect and admiration. However, the shocking truth about the water watcher's existence unveils a harsher reality. Imagine standing watch over the unpredictable forces of nature, where a sudden storm could lead to catastrophic flooding, or a prolonged dry spell could result in drought. The weight of responsibility rested heavily on the water watcher's shoulders, as their vigilance directly impacted the well-being of the entire community. Any miscalculation or oversight could lead to dire consequences, and the water watcher faced the burden of community expectations. The societal acceptance of the water watcher's role is deeply rooted in the ancient Chinese belief in the harmony between humanity and nature. The philosophy of balance and respect for natural resources was a guiding principle in daily life. Water, considered a vital element, was associated with prosperity and success. Therefore, the water watcher was seen as a protector of this balance, entrusted with the responsibility of managing the life-giving resource that sustained agriculture and community. As we delve deeper into these roles, the official color matcher and the water watcher, we uncover the layers of complexity that illustrate the intricate relationships between artistry, duty, and societal beliefs in ancient China. Each profession reveals the hidden struggles and expectations that shaped the experiences of those who navigated these unique paths. Let's continue our journey to discover more unusual professions and the often surprising realities that define the lives of individuals in this vibrant era. As we journey further into the realm of unusual professions, let's uncover the world of the stone carver. Picture a bustling quarry, where artisans skillfully chisel away at massive blocks of stone, transforming raw materials into breathtaking sculptures and architectural masterpieces. The stone carver plays a crucial role in creating monuments that speak to the grandeur of ancient China, yet beneath the beauty of their craft lies a reality filled with arduous labor and societal challenges. At first glance, the life of a stone carver may appear to be a noble calling. Their work is highly regarded for its artistry, as they sculpt intricate designs that adorn temples, tombs, and public spaces. The finished pieces, whether grand statues of deities or delicately carved reliefs, serve as lasting testaments to the skill and creativity of the carver. Their creations are often celebrated in festivals and revered in religious ceremonies, highlighting the cultural significance of their craft. However, the shocking truth about the life of a stone carver is that it is one marked by physical toil and harsh working conditions. Imagine spending long hours in a quarry, surrounded by dust and debris, wielding heavy tools to shape stone. The work is not just labor-intensive but can also pose significant health risks, from inhalation of harmful particles to repetitive strain injuries. The very act of creating beauty comes at a steep cost to the body, which is often worn down by the demands of the trade. Moreover, the societal perception of stone carvers is often paradoxical. While their work is admired and respected, the carvers themselves frequently labor in anonymity, their names overshadowed by the grand creations they produce. Much like other artisans, they are often seen as mere laborers, their individual contributions lost amidst the grandeur of their work. This lack of recognition can be disheartening, especially for those whose lives are dedicated to the pursuit of perfection in their craft. Understanding the acceptance of the stone carver's profession involves examining the cultural values surrounding artistry and legacy in ancient China. Stone was viewed as a material that represented permanence and stability, and the act of carving was seen as a means of connecting the present with the past. The labor of the stone carver was essential in preserving the cultural and spiritual heritage of society, ensuring that stories and values continued to resonate through generations. They were not just artists, they were custodians of history, bound to a legacy that would outlast their mortal lives. Now, let's transition to another fascinating role: wandering monk. Picture a solitary figure clad in simple robes, traveling from village to village, their presence a blend of serenity and wisdom. The wandering monk embodies the ideals of spiritual pursuit and community engagement, often regarded as a revered guide in ancient Chinese society. While their life may appear noble and fulfilling, the reality of being a wandering monk is filled with challenges that reveal the complexities of their existence. At first glance, the life of a wandering monk seems idyllic, steeped in tranquility and spiritual enlightenment. These individuals dedicate themselves to a life of humility, seeking knowledge and sharing teachings with those they encounter. They are often seen as custodians of wisdom, offering guidance and support to individuals and communities alike. In this light, the wandering monk appears to embody the highest ideals of altruism and selflessness. However, the shocking truth about the life of a wandering monk reveals a reality marked by hardship and uncertainty. The path of the monk is not without its trials. They must rely on the generosity of others for sustenance, making them vulnerable to the whims of the communities they visit. Imagine traveling through harsh landscapes, facing the elements, and encountering both kindness and hostility in equal measure. The search for enlightenment is often accompanied by physical discomfort and emotional fatigue, as the wandering monk navigates the complexities of life on the road. Societal acceptance of the wandering monk's role is deeply rooted in the spiritual beliefs that permeated ancient Chinese culture. Buddhism and Daoism emphasized the importance of seeking knowledge and understanding through experience. The monk's journey was seen as a vital component of personal growth, and their presence in a community offered opportunities for reflection and connection. The challenges they faced were understood as part of their spiritual practice, reinforcing the belief that enlightenment could only be achieved through hardship and self-reflection. As we delve into the lives of the stone carver and the wandering monk, we uncover layers of complexity that illustrate the intricate relationships between artistry, spirituality, and societal dynamics in ancient China. Each profession reveals hidden struggles and expectations that shaped the experiences of those who walked these unique paths. Let's continue our journey to explore even more unusual professions, and these often surprising realities that define the lives of individuals in this vibrant era. As we delve deeper into the intriguing world of ancient occupations, let's uncover the life of the official tooth puller. Picture a bustling village where townsfolk gather, their faces displaying a mix of anxiety and relief as they approach a modest stall. Here, the official tooth puller armed with rudimentary tools and a steady hand stands ready to relieve the pain of those suffering from dental ailments. While this profession may seem straightforward, the reality reveals a shocking truth that contrasts sharply with the public perception of teeth and health in ancient China. At first glance, the official tooth puller appears to be a figure of healing, providing relief to those tormented by toothaches. In an era devoid of advanced dental care, tooth extraction was often the only remedy available for individuals suffering from severe dental issues. The official tooth puller, seen as a necessary health provider, plays a critical role in alleviating discomfort, and their services are undoubtedly in high demand. In this light, their work seems honorable, a vocation devoted to the well-being of the community. However, the shocking reality of the official tooth puller's existence unveils a much harsher truth. Imagine the anxiety coursing through a patient's veins as they prepare to undergo a procedure devoid of anesthesia or modern hygienic practices. The tools employed for extraction are primitive at best, often resulting in excruciating pain and complications. The very act of pulling a tooth is fraught with risk, as infections could arise from unclean conditions, turning what should be a straightforward procedure into a dangerous endeavor. The societal understanding of dental health during this time paints a complicated picture. Dental issues were often attributed to factors beyond mere physical health: bad luck, poor karma, or a sign of internal imbalance. The practice of tooth extraction was not solely a medical intervention, it was intertwined with beliefs about fate and fortune. As such, the official tooth puller navigated a complex landscape of expectations, where their role transcended mere healthcare, encompassing spiritual and social dimensions as well. Understanding why this profession was accepted and necessary requires looking at the broader cultural beliefs surrounding health and wellness in ancient China. The connections between oral health and overall well-being were acknowledged, albeit in a limited understanding. The official tooth puller was seen as a crucial figure within the community, a necessary agent in the quest for relief from suffering. Their work was ultimately aimed at restoring balance to those afflicted by dental issues, even as they faced the daunting challenges that came with their trade. Now, let's shift our attention to another captivating, colorful dyer. Picture an artisan surrounded by large vats of dye, each one bubbling with vibrant colors as they skillfully transform plain textiles into breathtaking works of art. The colorful dyer holds a significant position in ancient Chinese society, where the craft of dyeing is celebrated for its artistic value and cultural importance. However, the reality of this profession is often obscured by the beauty of the final products, revealing a much darker side to the craft. At first glance, the life of the colorful dyer appears to be filled with creativity and vibrancy. The transformation of mundane fabrics into spectacular textiles is a process lauded in ancient Chinese culture, where color held deep meaning and significance. Brightly dyed garments were not merely fashionable, they were symbols of status, representing wealth and cultural identity. The dyer, therefore, plays a pivotal role in the visual landscape of society, crafting pieces that are worn with pride during ceremonies and daily life. Yet, the shocking truth about the colorful dyer's craft lies in the materials used in the dyeing process. Many dyes derived from plants, minerals, and even toxic substances posed health risks to the dyers. Imagine working daily with chemicals that could irritate the skin or damage respiratory health, all in the name of creating vibrant colors. Furthermore, the work environment was often chaotic, with spills and splashes creating a messy atmosphere that belied the beauty of the final product. The societal acceptance of the colorful dyer's profession is rooted in the cultural significance of color in ancient China. Bright colors were seen as indicators of vitality and auspiciousness, often associated with prosperity. The demand for colorful textiles ensured that the dyer's work was valued, despite the dangers associated with it. In a society that prioritized aesthetics and symbolism, the risks taken by the dyer were frequently overlooked in favor of the stunning results they produced. As we explore the roles of the official tooth puller and the colorful dyer, we uncover the complex realities that exist beneath the surface of these fascinating professions. Each role reflects intricate relationships between health, artistry, and societal beliefs in ancient China. Let's continue our journey to discover more unusual professions and the often surprising realities that shaped the experiences of individuals in this vibrant era. Now let's turn our focus to the life of the official silk inspector, a profession that intertwines artistry, commerce, and intricate social dynamics in ancient China. Imagine yourself entering a grand marketplace bustling with traders and artisans, where bolts of shimmering silk in every imaginable hue are proudly displayed. Amidst this vibrant scene, the official silk inspector stands as a figure of authority, entrusted with the vital task of ensuring that the silk produced meets the high standards expected by the imperial court and the discerning elite. While this role may seem prestigious, the reality of being a silk inspector is filled with hidden challenges and societal pressures that reveal the complexities of this ancient vocation. At first glance, the life of a silk inspector appears enviable. Surrounded by luxurious textiles, they are at the heart of an industry that represents wealth and sophistication. The silk inspector's keen eye for quality and detail is paramount as they meticulously assess the texture, sheen, and craftsmanship of each piece before it can be deemed worthy for sale. Their expertise ensures that only the finest silk reaches the market, and in doing so, they play a critical role in maintaining the reputation of this highly valued commodity. However, the shocking reality of being a silk inspector is that the role is often fraught with immense pressure and scrutiny. Imagine the weight of responsibility that rests on your shoulders as you evaluate countless pieces of silk, knowing that a single misjudgment could lead to significant financial losses for artisans and merchants alike. The standards set by the court are extraordinarily high, and the repercussions of failing to meet these expectations can be severe, potentially resulting in public disgrace for the inspector. The inspector's position is a high-stakes game where precision and knowledge must align perfectly. Moreover, the societal implications of silk extend far beyond mere aesthetics. In ancient China, silk was not just a fabric, it was a symbol of status, power, and cultural identity. It was integral to the economy and even politics, as the silk trade flourished along the Silk Road, connecting China to distant lands. The silk inspector, thus, serves as a guardian of this pivotal trade, responsible for maintaining both quality and cultural significance. Their work must navigate the delicate balance between artistry and the demands of commerce, making their role not just a profession, but a vital element of societal stability. Understanding why the official silk inspector's role was accepted and respected involves examining the cultural values that shaped ancient Chinese society. The reverence for silk was rooted in its historical and symbolic significance, representing not only wealth but also sophistication and refinement. The inspector's work was essential in preserving these cultural narratives, and the pressures they faced were viewed as acceptable sacrifices for the greater good of society. Now, let's shift our attention to another intriguing profession, the ghostwriter. Picture a quiet scribe sitting diligently at a wooden desk, parchment spread before them, quill in hand, as they craft letters and documents for those who cannot write. The ghostwriter operates in the shadows. Their skill in weaving words often goes unnoticed, yet their contributions are pivotal in the lives of many. Behind the facade of anonymity lies a complex profession filled with its own challenges and societal dynamics. At first glance, the role of a ghostwriter appears honorable and influential. These skilled artisans of language are tasked with articulating the thoughts and feelings of their clients, often crafting heartfelt letters that convey deep sentiments or important messages. In a society where literacy is often restricted to the elite, the ghostwriter becomes a vital voice for those who seek to communicate but lack the ability to do so. Their work is a testament to the power of words and the human desire for connection. However, the shocking reality of being a ghostwriter reveals a world of invisibility and unacknowledged labor. Imagine the frustration of pouring your creativity and emotion into a letter, only for the recipient to receive credit for your work. Ghostwriters often labor in anonymity, their contributions overshadowed by the identities of those they serve. This lack of recognition can create a sense of disillusionment, raising questions about the value of their work and the worth of their creative input. The societal acceptance of the ghostwriter's role can be traced to the cultural context surrounding literacy in ancient China. With reading and writing reserved for the privileged, ghostwriters emerged as vital conduits for communication, bridging the gap between the literate and illiterate classes. Their craft allowed individuals to maintain connections and express themselves, emphasizing the importance of communication in a society that often marginalized their contributions. As we explore the lives of the official silk inspector and the ghostwriter, we uncover layers of complexity that illustrate the intricate relationships between artistry, commerce, and societal beliefs in ancient China. Each profession reveals hidden struggles and expectations that shaped the experiences of those who navigated these unique paths. Let's continue our journey to reveal more unusual professions and the often surprising realities that defined the lives of individuals in this vibrant era. Now, let's delve into the life of the wandering monk, a figure whose journey encapsulates the pursuit of wisdom, spirituality, and community engagement in ancient China. Imagine a solitary figure clad in simple robes, walking along dusty paths, their presence a blend of serenity and purpose. The wandering monk dedicates their life to spiritual enlightenment, traveling from village to village, sharing teachings and offering guidance. While their role may appear noble and fulfilling, the reality of being a wandering monk is filled with challenges that reveal the complexities of their existence. At first glance, the life of a wandering monk seems idyllic, characterized by tranquility and spiritual pursuit. These individuals often embody the ideals of altruism, seeking to elevate their understanding of life and the universe while helping others along the way. Their teachings, rooted in Buddhism and Taoism, encourage reflection and self-improvement, making them revered figures within the community. In this light, the wandering monk appears to embody the highest ideals of compassion and wisdom. However, the shocking truth behind the life of a wandering monk unveils a world marked by hardship and uncertainty. The path of the monk is not without its trials. They must rely on the generosity of those they encounter for sustenance, often facing the harsh realities of hunger and inhospitable conditions. Imagine traversing remote areas where kindness is not guaranteed, or encountering hostility from those who do not understand their purpose. The search for enlightenment is frequently accompanied by physical discomfort and emotional exhaustion, as the wandering monk navigates the complexities of life on the road. The societal acceptance of the wandering monk's role is deeply rooted in the spiritual beliefs that permeated ancient Chinese culture. The monk's journey is seen as essential for personal growth, embodying the values of humility, detachment, and the quest for understanding. While their presence often enriches communities, the challenges they face are understood as integral to their spiritual practice, reinforcing the belief that enlightenment is achieved through adversity and selflessness. To fully appreciate the significance of the wandering monk, it's important to recognize their role as mediators between the spiritual and material worlds. They often provided wisdom and guidance during times of uncertainty, serving as reminders of the deeper questions of existence. Communities would come to rely on their teachings, seeking solace in a world that could often seem chaotic and unpredictable. Thus, while the life of a wandering monk is fraught with difficulties, it is also filled with opportunities for connection and enlightenment. Now, let's transition to another remarkable role: the official food taster. Envision a grand banquet hall filled with the aromas of roasted meats, fragrant spices, and elaborate dishes prepared for the emperor. The official food taster stands at the ready, responsible for ensuring that every dish presented is safe for consumption. While this role might seem glamorous, the reality of being a food taster is filled with peril and societal expectations. At first glance, the life of an official food taster appears to be a coveted position, marked by luxury and privilege. Tasked with sampling the finest cuisine before it reaches the emperor's table, the taster enjoys a front-row seat to the most lavish banquets. This role requires a discerning palate, as the taster must not only savor the flavors, but also identify any potential poisons that could threaten the emperor's life. In this context, the food taster seems to enjoy a life of excitement and indulgence. However, the shocking truth reveals a much darker side to this profession. The act of tasting food is fraught with danger, as enemies plotting against the emperor may resort to cunning methods to poison him. Each bite taken by the food taster carries the weight of life or death. A misstep could lead to their own demise. The constant threat of danger creates an environment of tension, where the taster must remain vigilant, knowing that their role is one of both service and sacrifice. Understanding the societal acceptance of the food taster's role involves recognizing the cultural beliefs surrounding loyalty and sacrifice in ancient China. The position is not merely about enjoying fine food, but also about demonstrating unwavering loyalty to the emperor. The food taster's willingness to risk their life for the sake of the emperor reflects the deeply ingrained values of honor and duty that permeated the imperial court. In this way, the food taster embodies the complexities of power dynamics and the sacrifices made in the name of loyalty. As we reflect on the lives of the wandering monk and the official food taster, we uncover layers of complexity that illustrate the intricate relationships between spirituality, service, and societal beliefs in ancient China. Each profession reveals hidden struggles and expectations that shaped the experiences of those navigating these unique paths. Let's continue our journey to explore even more unusual professions and the often surprising realities that defined the lives of individuals in this vibrant era. Now let's explore the fascinating life of the graveyard keeper, a role steeped in reverence, responsibility, and the complexities of cultural beliefs surrounding death in ancient China. Picture a tranquil graveyard, where well-tended tombstones rise amidst lush greenery, each marking the resting place of a departed soul. The graveyard keeper wanders among these hallowed grounds, ensuring that the graves are honored and maintained. While this profession may appear serene and noble, the reality of being a graveyard keeper is filled with challenges and societal expectations that reveal the intricacies of their existence. At first glance, the life of a graveyard keeper appears to embody a sense of purpose and honor. Tasked with caring for the graves of the deceased, their work is integral to the practice of ancestor worship, which holds deep cultural significance in ancient Chinese society. The keeper ensures that offerings are placed, weeds are cleared, and that the final resting places of the departed are respected. In this light, the graveyard keeper is seen as a guardian of memory, preserving the legacies of those who have passed. However, the shocking truth behind this profession unveils a much more challenging reality. Imagine the emotional weight that accompanies the role, as the graveyard keeper faces the constant reminder of mortality. Their responsibilities extend beyond mere maintenance. They must also navigate the complexities of rituals and ceremonies, often performing duties that require sensitivity and respect for the wishes of families. The graveyard keeper is not just a caretaker, they are a mediator between the living and the dead, tasked with holding traditions, while managing the expectations of grieving families. Furthermore, the graveyard keeper often faces societal attitudes toward death that can be complicated and multifaceted. While their role is generally respected, there can be an underlying discomfort surrounding the topic of death, making the keeper's work somewhat isolating. They may find themselves misunderstood or viewed with suspicion, as discussions about death can evoke fear or anxiety among the living. This duality creates a unique tension, as the graveyard keeper strives to honor the deceased while navigating the emotional landscape of the living. Understanding why this profession is accepted and needed requires examining the cultural beliefs surrounding ancestor worship in ancient China. The practice of honoring the dead was not merely a tradition, it was a vital component of the community's social fabric. The graveyard keeper plays an essential role in maintaining this connection, ensuring that the deceased are remembered and that their legacies endure. In a society where the past is intertwined with the present, the keeper's work is viewed as a necessary commitment to preserving cultural identity and familial ties. As we reflect on the lives of the wandering monk, the official food taster, and the graveyard keeper, we uncover layers of complexity that illustrate the intricate relationships between spirituality, service, and societal beliefs in ancient China. Each profession reveals hidden struggles and expectations that shaped the experiences of those navigating these unique paths. We have traveled through an array of unusual professions, each revealing a unique aspect of ancient Chinese culture and the myriad ways individuals contributed to the fabric of society. The stories of the royal food taster, the wandering monk, the colorful dyer, and the graveyard keeper, among others, offer a glimpse into the realities of daily life, where beauty and hardship coexist, and where every role carries its own weight of meaning and responsibility. As we conclude our exploration, we can appreciate the depth and complexity of these ancient professions. They remind us that behind every remarkable story lies a human experience rich with struggle, resilience, and the pursuit of purpose. Each individual, though perhaps overlooked in the grand narratives of history, played a vital role in shaping the culture and society of their time. Thank you for joining me on this journey through the oddest jobs in ancient China. May the stories of these fascinating professions linger in your thoughts, reminding you of the intricate connections that bind us all across time.